question there is.
Okay.
Well, people like it.
Okay, good. I'm glad Anish likes it.
So,
okay, so a question about the upcoming classes.
I see this a lot.
Will they also be using Python? And yes, they will. So we have 4 new classes that will be starting in April. We'll also be reoffering these 2 classes. The 3 of the new courses are 200 level courses that if you complete 101 and understand what we do in 101, you'll be ready to take those. And I think they're 3 really exciting courses. One will be about building web applications, and that's going to be taught by Steve Huffman, who was the co-founder of Reddit, as well as Hipmunk, yes, which are 2 of the coolest websites. If you haven't checked those out, I encourage you to do so. One will be a programming languages course that will use the goal of building a web browser to focus the course, and that's going to be taught by Wes Weimer, who's been out here recording parts of that class this week, so that's going to be a terrific class. And the third of the 200 level courses is going to be taught by Peter Norvig, and he's really a legendary programmer, and is going to look at sort of ways of using Python in more advanced than what we do in CS 101 to solve a whole range of interesting problems. And the 4th class that will be offered will also use Python. It's a course that I'm going to teach in applied cryptography. And that course is going to be a 300 level course. If you have fairly good confidence in math, the Python program that we use will not go beyond what you've learned in 101, so you would be able to take that class. I'm going to assume a little bit more math background than you might have otherwise. But it won't assume any more programming background than you'll have from 101.
Does anyone have a question?
Follow up to that one. If we take the 200 level classes, what would your goal be for what we'd be able to do on our own once we've done that?
So if you take all of them at once?
Well, if you once completing them.
Okay, great. Yeah, if you take all of them at once, I think you'll be very tired. I think that I commend anyone who wants to attempt to take all 3 at once. You're certainly allowed to and welcome to. I think it's going to be each one of those is going to be a substantial amount of work. So I think it's going to be really hard to take all 3, but they will be offered again. So our plan is to keep offering the courses every 8-week cycle. So whichever 1 or 2 you can take starting in April, you'll have a chance to take the other ones starting in June. And each of those courses has a different goal in terms of what material it covers. Definitely, if you take all 3, you'll be quite an experienced programmer. You'll really be able to build and understand complex programs. The goal for the web applications course is by the end of that course, you'll be able to build a web application. You'll be able to build.
You'll be able to.
You will have built one. It will be a blog. It will have user accounts. You'll learn how to use APIs to interact with other websites like Facebook API. And you'll learn about how to make it scale, which since Steve Huffman is teaching it, he's built websites that scale
to
many millions of users. So I think that will be really interesting. If you take the programming languages course, at the end of that, you'll understand how to build an interpreter. So it's focused around a browser, but the core part of a browser that interprets the JavaScript programs that are in the browser. And JavaScript is a language fairly similar to Python that runs inside almost all web browsers today. And what you'll do in that class is build an interpreter that can handle not all of JavaScript, but a core of JavaScript enough to really understand how an interpreter would work. And you'll also, you won't be building an interpreter for Python in that class, but you'll have a much better understanding of what's going on behind the scenes when you run a Python program from having built a JavaScript interpreter as well.
Okay. Anyone else have a question?
Okay, so the question is about, for the CS 101 class being offered in April, will it be a rebroadcast of the exact class or taught live again? I guess none of the lectures are actually live now, right? There's a lot of editing that goes into producing the lectures. When the course is reoffered, we'll be reusing a lot of the content. Probably most of the lecture content will be reused. The things that we have ideas how to do better than we did this time, we'll try to improve. Many of the problems from the homework, some will be reused, some will have new problems. So our goal is to take advantage of the content that we've developed and to be able to use that to offer the course again. but it will still be the experience similar to this one where we do hope to have a group of students going through the course together, doing the homeworks together. We haven't figured out exactly how to manage the forums that we have from this year's, this offering of the course, starting new forums or having ways to access the old forums and maybe have them scheduled along with the course.
We don't plan
But,
on deleting the old forms.
Right, we don't want to delete the
That-
old forums,
that's
we don't
not
lose
going to
content,
happen.
but we also don't want the students taking the April course to see the answers to the questions before they have a chance to have their own discussions and figure them out themselves. So we haven't figured out exactly how we're going to do that, but we'll try to make it so it feels like students are going through a class together that's a real class running at the same time, but still taking advantage of all the content and being able to improve the content based on what we've learned from all of you from taking it this time.
I
Okay.
have another grading question.
Sure.
Okay.
This may sound silly, but what exactly is the purpose of the grading? Is it just for motivation for those of us who are motivated by it, or?
So this is a question about what's the purpose of the grading, and it is really up to you if you care about the grading. So we're providing grading for many students. I think that makes it feel more like a real class. It's a motivating factor. It is the case that students who do the homeworks on the deadline and take the exam, the ones who get above a threshold will get a certificate, and based on how well they do, they can get a certificate that indicates that. We also have a long-term plan, at least long-term meaning this year, to have enough courses that you'd be able to do something comparable to a top-level university degree taking courses through Udacity. And students who are doing that because they want to build a transcript, they want to be able to get a job, they want to have something they can show to an employer that shows, here's what I've learned, this demonstrates my ability from having grades in these classes. Having grades that are meaningful will help us do that. And so I see a lot of stress on the forums and in emails to me about the grades. And if you're taking the class because you want to learn to program and you're not worried about that, that's perfectly okay. And I hope people don't get too stressed out about the grades, that it's really about learning. But for students who do want to pursue something like a complete CS degree or take a large set of courses with us and build a transcript, then the grades will start to be meaningful and valuable. And probably from 101, that's not going to be enough to have a transcript for at least most employers. Having just had the one class, the grading of that class won't matter too much. But I think it is a motivator, and I hope people will value the certificates that they get, because it is a lot of work to do well in the class, and we definitely appreciate your efforts and want to recognize them.
Okay. We have a. Oh wait.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry,
Sorry,
I
I
had
couldn't
the-
hear you.
I had
Kat.
the audio muted, so could you repeat your question?
Oh, it's okay. What programming languages will you be offering courses in after this one?
So it's a good question. I don't know the answer to that yet. We're working on planning the June courses. We don't have anything ready to announce about those courses yet. We will definitely eventually have some courses that use languages other than Python, but all the courses we have planned now are still using Python.
Okay.